Yeah, what's good? It's your boy Rizzo Bach and Rizzo Boski back at it again. Another video. And get straight to it. In order for you to enjoy this video, we have to establish two things that are true. If these two things are true, then you can continue the video and keep on rocking with me, keep talking to me. If these two things are not true, or one of these two things are not true, comment below. Tell me, hey, that wasn't true, so I didn't watch the rest. But I still want to hear your comments, you know what I'm saying? It just, the video won't make sense if these first two things aren't true. So the first thing, you become what you think about. Your dominant thoughts. You don't become what you want to be. You don't become what you deserve to be. Like, oh yeah, I deserve to be the Prince of England because my dad's the king. Well, that's a different situation. That's England. But you become what you think about the most. So that's the first. And the second truth is you can only work on two things. You got a small circle, which is things that you can control, and you got a bigger circle around it, which is things that you cannot control. And you can only work on one or two of those things all day, every day. That's what all your actions are based upon. So, if we do think that we become what we think about, it's true. And we do think that we can only work on stuff we can control or focus on stuff we cannot control, then let's push forward through the video. Social media, Facebook, they have a way of, or just news in general, they will get a hot, relatable headline and story to find its way to your cell phone. And this story, sometimes it's charitable, sometimes it's remarkable, sometimes it's miraculous. I'd say about 20% of those times, but usually it's horrible, it's murderous, it's violent, it's shocking, it's something you would never expect, and it's relatable. So let's rewind from Facebook. I talk about me growing up and giving a big shout out to my upbringing. I grew up being had to quiz on different African-American leaders, learning my black history. And it's not just about black history, but I grew up learning history about people who created something from very difficult and turbulent circumstances. So regardless of if they were black or white, that's what young me was intaking. There's people out here that have had terrible circumstances that still found a way to do what they desired to do. So imagine a kid who's only grown up being told stories of that, being told the Rudy story, the Harriet Tubman story, stories of people starting off small, starting off meekly, making their mind up, and finishing where they wanted to finish. So what would that kid become? What would that kid think like? What would that kid act like? That's one way of thinking and being able to consistently think. Now, secondly, if I control a lot of the population's money and my dominant thought is that I want to control the population, keep them as meek as possible, keep them as low and poor as possible, I got a great role model for you. I'm going to find somebody that looks like you, that deserved to receive justice, and he or she received an injustice. One that actually hit home with me, made me actually like stop scrolling, and I opened the ad and read the ad. So I could say this kind of stuff still affects me too. It still takes up my attention. We just have to understand that we can't give these big things that are out of our control too much of our attention. But there was I want to call it an ad, because low key it's just like advertising to us like, hey, this is the standard for your color of people. This is how we decide to treat y'all. This is how y'all should expect to be treated. So like, to me, it's an ad, but it's real life. It is the news. But there's a Texas boy right now, and some high schools not letting them graduate because his dreadlocks are too long. That's why they say they're not letting them graduate. And what it's doing is, that's relatable. He's black, I'm black. He's got crazy long dreadlocks. I have wild, crazy hair. Um, it's relatable. They're not letting him graduate. My boss isn't letting me get a promotion. You know what I'm saying? The government isn't letting me get a tax break. What else do people like to blame? The weather isn't letting me go work out today. You know, but the purpose of it is it's much easier to put yourself in the shoe prints of somebody who is good and happy and noble, and just at the end of the day, you get to blame it on this convenient ass they won't let them do what they want to do, or what this noble, heroic figure wants to do. It's much easier for me to open a book and be like, here's the story of somebody born poor, raised poor, died poor. Oh yeah, I can emulate that. I can sit on my butt all day, complain all day, blame outside sources. I could focus on stuff I can't control and use my energy talking about the president and the weather and the taxes and all the stuff that I can't control, rather than using my same energy talking about my digestive system and my mental health and my ability to speak to others and focus on stuff that I can control. So that's why I call it an ad. You know, we want you and your people to actually think that this is what's normal and what y'all deserve and how y'all should be treated. So we're gonna let this one incident, I think it's actually two incidents, which is wild, but this two incidents out of 8 billion people who have incidents all day, every day, we're gonna make these two show up on your Facebook timeline, because we know it's relatable, it's triggering, it's exciting, it's thrilling, and it's easy to emulate. I can easily go out here with a chip on my shoulder, angry as hell, and be like, man, the world is so racist, police are out to get me, man. F this guy, F that guy. And I can end up in jail by tonight, by tomorrow night. I can do that. Or I can take my same amount of energy, same amount of effort, and I can say, man, it sucks that a lot of people in my situation are not able to finish the way that they want to. It's a huge tragedy that a lot of people get taken off of their own path and literally forced onto another path. That is a tragedy. But does that happen to every single person? It doesn't. Does that happen every single time someone's on the right path? It doesn't. Most of the time, it actually doesn't happen when people are on the right path. It's actually a huge travesty, and it's devastating to the laws of the universe when that happens to people. But it does happen. Injustices, negatives, they do happen. But the happenings happen to us all. The happenings happen from little Susie down the block all the way up to the CEO of Chevron. If something happens, it happens to us all. It's how we deal with what happens, how we take what happens, and how we feel about what happens, and how we're going to choose to move forward. I don't want to touch on the actual subject about the boy not being able to graduate, because it's just so much out of my control. And as much as it feels like it matters, because they make it someone that looks like me, someone who's around the same age. Like, I just graduated college. I just, 4 years before that, graduated high school. So it's like someone on the same path as me. It's easy for me to indulge a lot of attention into that topic. I can really spend 15, 20 minutes of my day on that topic. And you know what? That makes the person who put that out, who decided this is the story that we're going to tell young black men for this day, for this week, I just made them a success. When I choose to get on there and argue, oh, this is... Now, there's a difference between you out actively doing this stuff, like you know your own mayor. Like, I don't know my mayor. Like, if you don't know who your mayor is, who your city council is, do you really have business complaining about who the president is? No. But it's much easier to say, Trump did this and this, and that's why I'm unsuccessful. I'm noble, I'm smart, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but that darn Trump. I'm putting in the night hours. I'm studying the classes. I'm doing more than I'm expecting to be paid for because I know the concept that you reap what you sow. So I'm reaping more than I'm sowing because I want the interest and I want to be successful. But that darn Trump, it's easier to do that. It's easy to say I woke up at 6 a.m. I had work at 8 a.m. I stretched. I did everything, but dang, I got a stain on my shirt. I had to go back inside and change. And I showed up to work at 8:15, 15 minutes late. That darn Trump. That dang Obama. 15 minutes late because it was cold outside. So, you got two circles in life. One is stuff you can control. What you intake, what you do, how you speak, how you act to people. You can control that. I don't care if he calls you the N-word. You don't have to hit him in the face. I know TV told you to. I know the movies told you to. I know the songs told you to. If a white guy says the N-word, you know what I'm saying, on a movie, whole cutscene, skirt. Every camera pans to the black man. They all mad. Next scene, white man getting thrown out of the house, or he's actually getting his ass whooped. Like, I know the movies told you that when a white guy calls you a nigger, you have to beat his ass. But guess what? You don't have to, bro. There's no rules to this. White guy can call you the N-word 30 times and you can just go eat breakfast, bro. On me. Because guess what? You have a circle of stuff you can control. And on outside of that, you have a circle of stuff that you cannot control. But the beautiful part about it is the more you focus on the little circle, the bigger it gets. The more you focus on the stuff you can control, when you start controlling your diet, your bank account, if you're going to lift weights or not, if you're going to send that happy Merry Christmas, happy birthday text or not, if you're going to come 5 minutes early or 5 minutes late, when you start working on the stuff you can control, it's amazing how many more opportunities come up and how much more stuff you can control. This is a 12-minute or 12 and a half, and I'm still on the outro, so a 13-minute. But I'ma cut it right now. It's your Boski, Rizzo Boggin, Big Froski. You see the drip, big drip. See the drip, big drip. And we outie 3,000, big outie 3K. Drop a comment. Let me know how you feel.